Hello and welcome to InThisCornerTV.com, brought to you by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter. I'm Smitty at the top-ranked gym in Las Vegas, where Miguel Cotto readies for his Saturday night light middleweight championship defense against Ricardo Mayorga. Now, Cotto, as always, wants to let his fist do the talking, so I kind of left him alone. But everybody else in the promotion was ready, willing, and able to talk and had plenty to say. Talk about your preparation for this fight.
Habla de tu preparación para esta pelea.
Primero que nada, que me regale una foto.
Before we continue with the autograph, I want to take a picture with you.
Okay. No, let's go.
Él está en la pared.
No lo quiero, yo sé, yo lo vi.
All right, thank you. Cool. That's a good thing. Now we'll put them on together then. Now I want to do this one. Are you in the best shape of your career for this fight?
¿Estás en la mejor condición en tu carrera para esta pelea?
Sí.
Yes.
What do you feel are your advantages over Cotto?
¿Cuáles son tus ventajas contra Cotto?
La condición física que yo adquirí no la tiene él.
He goes, I know I'm in much better shape than he is. There's no way that he's in better shape than I am.
El corazón, los cojones que yo tengo y el poder que yo poseo no lo tiene él.
Heart, very simple. My heart, my balls, and my power, that gives me a huge edge over him.
Jesús está conmigo y
And
con él no.
Jesus is with me. And I know he's not with him.
In the past, you've gotten into some trouble when you've gotten a little wild. Against Vernon Forrest, the second time you were controlled the entire 12 rounds, and you were able to win that fight. What fight plan for Saturday night against Cotto?
Hemos visto muchas caras de estilos tuyos en las peleas. Por ejemplo, en algunas peleas te hemos visto muy indisciplinado, un estilo muy arrebatado. Y en otras peleas, por ejemplo, usando la segunda pelea con Forrest, estuviste muy disciplinado, desarrollaste súper bien esa pelea. ¿Qué podemos esperar de ti para esta pelea?
Mayor disciplina, más condiciones y una mejor línea de boxeo. Emanuel Steward y Miguel Cotto no van a descifrarme porque yo vengo con un plan muy diferente.
It was very simple. I'm going to be a lot more disciplined for this fight. I know Manny and Cotto are trying to decipher what the hell it is that I'm going to do, but they're not going to be able to do it because I'm going to be disciplined, going to be sure using a lot of boxing, a lot of power at the same time, and I'm going to mix and match, and they're going to be able to figure me out.
Would a win be the biggest one of your career?
Si la victoria esta para ti representaría la victoria más grande de tu carrera. No.
Why not?
¿Por qué no?
Esto es como un sparring para mí.
This is like a sparring session for me. This isn't a fight.
Lo que quiero es ganarme la firma de Manny Pacquiao en un contrato.
The biggest fight in my career should be Manny Pacquiao.
¿Dónde me la voy a ganar?
So the highlight.
How am I going to get to that?
¿Dónde me la voy a ganar? Noqueando a Miguel Cotto. Es como que Manny Pacquiao me está diciendo, yo voy a firmar para pelear contigo.
Knocking out Miguel Cotto is going to get me to Manny.
So the highlight of this is really the picture with me and your birthday.
Entonces, la parte más alta de esta entrevista entonces fue la foto conmigo para tu cumpleaños.
Tú mismo eres, papá. Tú lo dijiste.
Absolutely.
All right, best of luck.
Mucha suerte.
No, yo tengo la bendición. La suerte la voy a ocupar Cotto, que no le va a servir para nada.
He goes, I'm blessed. He goes, and I know I'm being blessed for this fight. Luck he's going to need.
You know, one final comment. His thoughts on Alexis Arguello.
Tu opinión sobre Alexis Arguello.
Fue un gran campeón del mundo, ¿qué te puedo decir? Y uno de los grandes ídolos de Nicaragua y bueno, a nivel mundial, que vive el flaco, lo queremos mucho.
But worldwide and, long live Alexis, we love him very much.
Y que Dios tenga su alma en paz porque, bueno, ya falleció.
And may he rest in peace and God have him in his glory.
All right, finally, a prediction in one word.
Una palabra, dame tu predicción en una palabra para la pelea.
Yo soy el...
Una palabra.
Yo gano.
Esas son dos.
¿Solo una?
Ajá.
Uno.
Una palabra. Knockout.
Ahí están dos palabras. No, es uno.
No, es una.
Una.
Corría.
Ok. Knockout.
A promoter of the people, for the people, and by the people, and his magic lies.
In my people ties, this is James Smith letting you know that we're here to give you a show because we love you. And this is what it's about, though. We give you the news of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're not here to prognosticate. We're not here to calumniate. We are here to give you what is real. Take it like you find it. Leave it like it is. And this is what you're going to get when we have, what is it, in this corner? Because we're in your corner. So it's going to be a great fight Saturday night, James. We want you to let all your population know the people is so important. That it's going to be a knockout, and Mayorga is going to knock out Cotto.
It's great to have you on the television show. You did radio with me for so many years. And, of course, this show is sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter. And I know you love Tecate.
Oh, Tecate. Yes, one little swig, and I bet $1 million. But it's at 8-1 odds. So when I get to $9 million on Saturday night, Tecate will be responsible. Oh, Tecate, hear my cry. Victory! Victory is ours, baby! And I'm feeling good. One Tecate to another. Here, you have one. I got one.
Emanuel, before we get to this fight with Cotto and Mayorga, you and I have talked about this many times over the years. We have a lot of problems in the sport of boxing. Perhaps the biggest problem right now is the lack of quality trainers to teach not only our professionals, but even our amateurs.
You're right, Smitty, and that's why our amateur program has faltered. It's almost dead, really. And that's where you get your professionals from, the amateurs. So that system isn't working because you don't have good coaches. Then professionally, you got everything but good trainers. I mean, if you can just hold up the pads and make a lot of noise and put on a show, you're considered a trainer. I mean, when you go back and look at history and the great fighters and the great earls, they didn't even have pads. I was the first guy that made the pads famous with the Tommy Hearns and the crunk style, but they don't understand what I'm doing. It's much more than just holding up your hands. You have to look at the balance, the position of the foot, and the punching through the target, hands completely tight at the end, the position. But today they just stand in one spot and they do that little pop, 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 and it's always a great trainer. You don't have to even do those pads to be a good trainer. The good trainers that I'm looking back with Charlie Goldman, with Marciano and all of the guys back, when Joe Lewis's trainer, Blackburn, I mean, and even Ray Robertson, and Muhammad Ali with Angelo Dundee.
Ray
Arcel. I mean, those guys, there was no such thing as pads. I mean, they talk to you between rounds. They actually, after your sparring, they would show you what you was doing improperly, show you a little technique move, wipe you off. And that's just what this training is about, to correct mistakes and show you how to do things properly.
You have your training, you have your heavy bag, your speed bag, your double end bag, your jumping rope, your sparring, and you teach.
Yeah, but now you have to be able to go out on the beach and throw the ball up in there and catch the ball and flip over the sand and jump over some chairs and jump back over some chairs and catch the ball over when you're doing this. And that's what it's great for show. But nothing beats the old-fashioned just punching the bags and push-ups, pushing your own body weight up, especially on your fingertips, pulling your body weight up on a chin-up bar, punching the heavy bag to strengthen the end. That's still the basics, to me, success of training properly and preparing for a fight.
But is it tough to get these youngsters coming up to listen to that? Even though you're a legend at what you do, I would imagine it's difficult because they're almost preordained now to do all this other crap.
Well, it's not just the boxers, the trainers. They're the ones that they wanted to do that. And so if you say something that's different, a lot of them look at you. But most of the boxers I've trained, they were actually hungry to learn the real, true, old-fashioned tactics. And as I said before, I don't recall any great supposed trainer, great fighters that was all wrapped up into this pad work, which is more of a show. It's not even necessary to be a good trainer. But that's the only thing that most of these so-called trainers can do, because they don't know how to really train. So they just learn a way of just, regardless of what your balance or the hand position or body position, just to stand there and let them just punch on their hands with that little fast, no commitment on the punches type style. And that's why the fighters today have a lot of them have fast hands, a lot of speed, very few knockouts.
Yeah, they punch at the target, not through the target.
Yeah, and that's why you have the guys such as Pacquiao and Miguel Cotto and the new kid Donaire. This is why the people liked it, because they're exceptions. They're punching through their targets. And actually, even a lot of the heavyweights that we have out here today, outside of probably Latimer Klitschko, very few of them even punch through the target when they punch.
Miguel Cotto, very lucky to have you now working in his corner. What are the main things you tried to do working with him? I know one thing I've heard you mention a lot of times is balance, working on his balance.
The first thing that I did when I began working with Miguel Cotto was to correct what I was, as a broadcaster and a big observer of most of his career, I thought was terrible, was his balance, which was fighting in a manner where all of his weight was over his left foot, head down excessively low. Even though he's about 5 feet 7 or 8, he was fighting actually as if he was 4 feet 10, which is something that I one day made him stop it. When we was training.
Don't look at me when you say 4'10".
No. But it made him start keeping his weight evenly distributed, and have his elbows from being so far out like he was, to bring him closer in. And from that, everything else worked. Because as an amateur boxer, he was phenomenal as a boxer. And I looked at a video once of him on a big international match. He was representing Puerto Rico and against America. And I thought it was Sugar Ray Leonard until they said there was a kid was a 17-year-old boxer from Puerto Rico. And I said, we've got to get back to using your footwork a little bit and boxing a little bit more, because you can't overpower everybody. And that's what he was doing. But when he got to a certain elite level and started having the tough fights with the Shane Moses and Claudes and Judah and Margarito and Pacquiao, he started having problems because he'd gotten away from his boxing. So basically I made him get back to having better balance and operating behind a side of left jab.
What do you expect in this fight Saturday night against Ricardo Mayorga?
The fight this Saturday night between Mayorga and Cotto, I figure Cotto will win by knockout within 3 or 4 rounds because he's too accurate with his punches, whereas Mayorga's punches are wide looping punches. And right now, Miguel Cotto is boxing a lot better, so his strong side of left jab would set up short combinations where I believe that without even running from Mayorga, he would be able to catch him with a much more accurate punches if they have exchanges and knock him out.
I got to see this left hook. Manny was talking about your left hook to the body. He's saying it's like the best he's ever seen, so that's saying something.
I said it was in Mexico, the station, the Azteca. I told them that yesterday. And Julio, I had about 3 fights. He would hurt you, but Miguel, he shut the lights go out. The whole room is almost over.
If he could have one fight let's say you had one fight for Miguel after this fight, would it be a rematch with Margarito, a rematch with Pacquiao, or a fight against Floyd Mayweather if you had a wish list and could have only one more fight with him and for him?
If I could have one fight, only one fight, I would say Pacquiao, because I think he is the best that's out there. It's a fight that I find very intriguing as a fan, in addition to being a trainer, because there are 2 guys who both punch and commit. They both have speed and power. And the first fight, which Miguel Cotto was doing very good in the first half, first 3-4 rounds. And then from that point on, Pacquiao took over. But it still demonstrated to me that he had the ability to be a very competitive and not victor over Pacquiao. I would like to have that fight because Pacquiao is the best fighter in the world. And I have a lot of respect for him, and he's one of my favorites. But I think that fight would be the ultimate fight to have him, if he could beat Pacquiao. That would bypass possibly the Margarito, which is always going to be tainted because of the glove infractions or the hand wrapping that came out later, whether it's true or not, but there's so much doubt about that. And I don't really know. If he fought Mayweather, it would be a big fight, but I don't know if it would be an exciting fight.
And we don't know if we'd even get a fight with Floyd Mayweather's situation right now. One fight we're going to have is Vladimir Klitschko and David Haye. Now, is this a done deal now?
For the most part, after speaking to Vladimir, it's a done deal. And I expect it to be at the latter part of June or the early part of July. But I believe the fight is going to happen. It's the only signature important fight in the heavyweight division. And what's so sad about it, I don't see anything following that that's going to be exciting. But it will be an exciting fight because both guys have fairly fast hands. I think you'll see a more aggressive Vladimir Klitschko in this fight because he's emotionally wired up for this fight, unlike most of the fights he's been where he's so comfortable just operating behind a jab. And both guys have questionable chins. So it should be a very exciting fight.
Well, one thing we hope is that we can do something between my television show In This Corner and our site, InThisCornerTV.com, and you to get these trainers out there. It's not just a toothpick in the mouth and the mitts that make a great trainer. So hopefully we can do something about that.
I hope so, too. I'm presently going around the world doing a clinic and basically teaching trainers. I've did 4 of them, and they've been very successful. I have 2 scheduled coming up, one in Europe and one in Dallas, Texas. But I'm going to go all around the world, hopefully in the next 2 years, trying to train trainers for the most part.
All right, great seeing you, Manny.
My pleasure, Smitty.
All right. We did this on Smitty Sports Talk Radio for many, many years. Now we'll do it on In This Corner. Look into that mic and tell the folks what's going to happen on Saturday night, Mayorga and Cotto.
You heard it right here on In This Corner. On Saturday night, history will be made. It will be history in the making. when Mayorga, El Matador from Nicaragua, Viva Nicaragua, dedicating the fight to Daniel Ortega, his presidente, and the people of Nicaragua, he will take on Miguel Cotto of Puerto Rico. Viva Puerto Rico. And when he takes on Miguel of Puerto Rico, he will be the sacrificial lamb this time, but he will be immortalized for being in the position to be sacrificed for betterment of mankind in the sport of boxing. So it's going to be great, and we can never underestimate the great contribution that Miguel Cotto is making to the boxing world and the people at large. He is letting them see that though you may be down, you're not out. Get up, you get knocked down, get back up. Dust yourself off and get back in the game. You're in it to win it. You can't give in, you can't give up, and you can't quit. So when Miguel does that and Mayorga knocks him out, it'll be history in the making. So you're here, right here on this corner, in this corner, Saturday night, March 12th. If you can't be at the MGM Grand to see it live and in living color, check it out on the screen. We're going to be there. Get it at pay-per-view. But it's a must-see. You got to see it. You heard that now, in this corner, and we are in your corner.
And I'll see you at the Hall of Fame in June in Florida.
Oh, the Hall of Fame in June in Florida. Oh, I love Florida. Thank you, Jimmy.